the story I heard yesterday on Chelsea for new centre back possibility, and I thought said that news was gone. I really thought say the conversation around centre back and saying some was already gone, and we're not going to have conversations around centre back again. Then yesterday, big one according to Practical and Build Germany, KK Sky Germany, a lot of the things keep on going in that direction. So maybe clubs like Chelsea will pay attention to this center back. Apparently, right after the game, or the German Bundesliga, the player was seen in tears. I'm saying he wants to go. Chelsea have been linked with him. The video who come or Hasi and Jabi Alonso got a job done against Real Oviedo, Barcelona. I've also gotten the job done this weekend. 6/6 for both of them. I like the way Jabi Alonso is making sure say he is not going to make it easy for Football Club Barcelona. Although Barcelona are a much more settled team and stuff like that. Now, I like the fact that Jabi Alonso is being very, very solid and making sure that he gets the results for Football Club Barcelona. Fiifi Manfred on YouTube. Fiifi Manfred on YouTube. It's your best place for football analysis. On the field, off the field, all the analysis is here that you get it. So trust me, I've said it several times. There isn't any other place that gives you the best in terms of analysis than here. Uradia, you enjoy the analysis, you enjoy the banter, and of course, you learn something today, you take it home. Maybe APP Manfred on YouTube. We are investors, so they are then we give you constant wins in a week at least, and you're kind of this week hasn't been good. I need to be very honest with you, it has not been good. Atalanta, it was ATM on Saturday and Atalanta yesterday. Two teams have broken our hearts over the weekend, but again, we'll go again. There are good matches today on Monday. Like I say, sometimes it's the day that you stop, and and it doesn't go well for you. Today, there is a game for you. There are games for you. Over the description, the codes are there in the description of the video. Pick them up and give yourself a chance of winning something. I say on Fiifi Manfred on YouTube. A very, very imperative part. So we're picking up the BBI. Let me say a quick thank you to Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Show. If you want the best spare parts deals there, then it's a Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. Or Accra, Abuso kind post office. Any spare part that you want, contact me. That's what he calls a nationwide delivery. If you are not in Accra, call him on 059 Also, if you want an apparel, upper shorts, upper top, upper sleeveless, upper slippers, upper belt, upper man trousers, office wearing man there. Then it is from MOB Clothing. MOB Clothing, Accra. To a flower station on them. And MOB Clothing. I will call MOB on 0200 668 708 0200 668 or 02472 77140. Today, in front of the Mundo Deportivo, they have been talking about things I've been talking about for the past few days. And Mundo, for what I say, has it afflictive is a lethal revolution. And I've said it several times. They don't stop coming. For me, mentally, Barcelona are head and heels above a lot of the teams. If you talk about Barca, the mental strength of Modiba in games now one of the best. And they have shown it in the games that they played recently. When you talk about Barca playing against Mallorca, the mental strength, the mental fortitude to push in games and make sure that they get a result in there. Also, on the side of the game that they played the last time against Levante, away from home, going down by 2 goals to 0. And like I said, Levante football no boy in the start time was a much more compact style of play. 5-4-1 without the ball. It was more mid-block than once Barca transit good to go deeper. They sit in an aggressive, low block, and then they press as and when they have to. But anytime that they get a ball, a lot of transitions over there from them with good combinations from wide areas, from fullbacks, any outside centre backs, from outside midfielders to combine and get a job done. Almost Barca two in the first half. Now Barca had to react. They had to react. And after the game, I've said it several times here. I see this Netflix team. It's not the first time. Last season, they went down 2-0 against Atletico de Madrid. They won. They went down 2-0 against Madrid. They won. They went down 2-0 against Celta de Vigo. They won. They went down 2-0. I think one of those teams I saw they won. So they know how to go down and then come back and then get a job done and then winning in games that they have to win. And that is exactly what Hansi did to flick Edemades Barcelona side. Mental strength, mental fortitude, the ability to dig deep and make sure that they get a job done. That is exactly what Hans-Dieter Flick and the Barca team, and that's exactly what they are doing. That's why they in front of Mundo, I would say a lethal revolution. I'm going back at the game that Barca were able to do. Of course, sports also use the word lethal. Two of the clubs, the papers in Catalan, Comorum, all of them use lethal. Sport as lethal start. And Mundo say lethal revolution. I like the fact that it's also a lethal start. It is cut through start. First game get a job done. Second game get a job done. And then of course a perfect record for football club Barcelona in a huge game. Barcelona, Eyo Majmo, playing the good football, making sure they are in there to get a job done. It's a very, very good job for Barcelona. After the game, as he flex statement during Friday press conference, it's unlikely say Mark Casado is going to leave because after the game, as he flick Babacan said he wants to make sure say he keeps a branch friend of Mark Casado. Fermin Lopez also another player is subject to leaving football club Barcelona, but we don't expect that he goes also. Rafinha in the middle of a front three, dangerous domino effect. It means that he almost stays on the bench. I particularly did not like Rafinha as a number 10. I think that didn't work. I think it didn't work, especially in the first half. Yes, Rafinha is a good attacker, but then as a 10 in the creator, in between two attackers, I saw him constantly drifting to Lamine Yamal side on him. It wasn't for me the best way that Rafinha could play his games. It was not a good one at all. So we'll see how things are going to go. Of course, in absence of Robert Lewandowski, Ferran Torres got the job that he did his job. And of course, the Barca hierarchy, Lewandowski is a starter. Ferran Torres will be a backup. But then, of course, that is going to be a huge fight over there for him when it comes to Abrantia in front of Ferran Torres and the quality that he brings to the Barcelona team. Yesterday, Barca did training on Sunday, but then Andreas Christensen, he was given the permission to sit out. He told Hans-Dieter Flick that he wasn't feeling well. General feeling of discomfort. That's exactly what it was. Mark Bernal is dying to play again for Barcelona after being a year out. The medical team gave the okay, but has not reached a complete fitness level yet. What I hear is that Hans-Dieter Flick has told Mark Bernal that he will play. Just take his time. Memorable games team. Or Jules Koundé and Danny Olmo not being started against Levante is a clear message from Hansi Flick. No one is safe. I think I like what Hansi Flick is doing. Letting everybody know, say, nobody has an automatic space in his team. If you don't perform, somebody else takes over. Because in the two games, Eric Garcia started. The next one also, Eric Garcia started at the right back area for Football Club Barcelona. Danny Olmo also Marcus Rashford started and Rafinha came to play as a 10. But in the second half, when they needed a proper number 10, Dani Olmo came on. We'll see how things are going to go on for them. What we hear is that Inaki Pena is very, very close to signing with Elche. Elche, Barcelona are looking for a place to take Inaki Pena. He's literally the fourth goalkeeper on paper for them, fourth senior goalkeeper for Football Club Barcelona. It's a little bit too much. And they look like they're going to take the boy to Elche for him to get the job done. Flick has built a strong, balanced squad. The young stars are growing. The big challenge will be managing Lewandowski's decline and keeping the defense fresh. The key is smart rotation. Let backups play in a Copa and then avoid overloading the starters. That is exactly what some journalists in Spain are talking about as Flick went on to do. Joan Diaz says Flick showed his character in Levante. Barca played a poor first half, but then reacted after a stop message and came back 3-2. He made bold choices, proving that with him only performance matters, not names nor for Flick. Barca must always play football, never relax. That's exactly what's coming from Catalan Comorum when it comes to what Hansi Flick and the Barcelona team were able to do in that game against Levante. Of course, after the game, Pedro Gonzalez spoke. Pedro said, I think we need to approach matches the way we did in the second half. In the second half, Pedri was excellent in that regard, played very, very well. He said shooting from a distance an option. We must try. It also forces opponent teams to come out and then out of their areas, and then you have spaces of passing also. We get the job done over them for themselves. It's a very, very good one for Football Club Barcelona, given how they have been able to play, the quality of play, and how things are going on. Rafinha, after the game, also spoke. Rafinha said, Lamine is what he is. You all know that he has the quality to change a match, and in the end, we trust him and in the team. That's what matters. And he goes on. He says, yes, winning is important. In the end, the more points we collect, the greater the chance of winning the league again. It's I've said several times, I try to be better than I was yesterday, and over the seasons, I strive to be at the same level of better that I was in the previous season. That's exactly what I'm coming into the season with. That is Rafinha in his post-match thoughts on Hansi Flick saying in the second half we played Rafinha as a winger again. We knew what we had to do, and I think that that's exactly what changed the game. Flick said, "I think Rashford proved that he has the potential to help us a lot. Things weren't perfect today, but we had to give credit to Levante for the way they played and the transitions they generated. I'm proud because we tried to improve and fought until the end. And I think that this win will help us in the next match. We will always play against top opponents like Levante, and this match helps us to improve." So that is Hansi Flick giving yesterday's 2 days ago the win that they got against Levante in the Spanish La Liga. A very very good one for Hansi Flick. And in the Mountain or Hornman. Now, when Barca wins, Madrid replies. When Barca wins, Madrid replies. Yesterday, Madrid went in there and then they did reply. They did reply with some of their young stars coming in to get a job done. They did reply with some of their boys coming up to get a job done. And of course, this morning, Marsa has been talking about what Madrid has been doing today in terms of how good Madrid were, the quality of Madrid's play, going away to Real Oviedo and then getting the job done. Mind you, it was a huge game against Real Oviedo. And again, I think when you look at Madrid, the question has always been that, see, when Madrid have done the things that they've done, the kind of football that Madrid have played in recent times, they have not had that fluidity in their team. They've not had a manager that's been there for long. Again, but they have to get results. So managing results, getting results, even when it's not flamboyant, even when it's a little difficult now, it's a very, very good one for football club Real Madrid. And in front of Marca, what they say is that and Mudo killer, talking about killing Antonio Mbappe being a killer right there in that game against Real Oviedo. It's a very, very good one for football club Real Madrid, giving the quality, and that was in that match over there. I think that again in the second half, the management of the team from Xabi Alonso was top notch. For you to go and play in a game like this, and then make sure that at the end of the day, you have your quality players coming in when you need them to come in. Because in this game, he started Rudiger and then Dean Heitz. And I've said it several times. The ball playing ability of Dean Heitz is one of the things that is underrated in the world. Quality on the ball, breaks lines for fun, centrally. Also a good ball carrier in that regard. And then again, in the middle of the park, that is where Orient Chimini decided to play ball today. I mean, when Orient Chimini is at his best, only a few are close to the quality that he possesses centrally. He was such an excellent player centrally, picking those passes, winning those balls back, playing forward, and then being integral to everything that football club Real Madrid does in the middle of the park was very excellent for them. And Xabi Alonso decided to go with Rodrigo Goes and then Franco Mastantuano on the wings, and two players who he thinks will give him a very, very good input and output when they don't have the ball. And that's exactly what Franco Mastantuano, Rodrigo Goes, yeah. Anytime when Madrid any ball, they were aggressive in their press, they got into their shape, they want the ball back quicker for them. And we have said several times here that Madrid's biggest problem throughout the season has always been the out of possession, or what they do when they don't have the ball. Because most of the times, Madrid have been excellent when they have the ball. They have the quality to break down teams when they have the ball. But when they do not have the ball, that is where the real problem of football club Real Madrid is. And then now against Real Oviedo yesterday, a lot of credit to Xabi Alonso. I mean, putting up a very good starting lineup that would deal with Madrid's out of possession shape, putting up a very, very good lineup that would give them the balance that they needed. Xabi Alonso again was excellent. For me, I've said it several times. The only thing that I'm worried about from the first game to this, again, is the combination between winger and then the corresponding fullback. Again, even with Rodrigo Goes, there were a lot of runs from Alvaro Carreras from deep to make sure he does the underlapping and overlapping. But then again, Rodrigo did not pick those ones well. Xabi Alonso spoke about it that he saw it, he was okay with it. But I know that for him, he would want them to work on it better. Those overlapping and underlapping and then using the fullback for me is very, very important. Now, Rodrigo Alvaro Carreras in some match, he had 77 touches, 87 passing, 2 key passes, 2 successful dribbles, 4 duels won, 1 foul won, 2 clearances, and then 1 interception from Alvaro Carreras over there for themselves. Of course, it was a very, very good display from Dean Heighton. Also, as well, quality play by our standard. And yesterday, also, Danny Carvajal started in the middle of the park for Football Club Real Madrid. It was a good thing to have because Charlie, you need players like that. You need the Danny Carvajals. You need such players who understand how they want to play the ball. You need the experience of Real Madrid. Players who understand the Madrid culture and then will push the new players to go up and then go and get a job. And that stability at the back was important. Now, after the game, Thibaut Courtois spoke about what is beginning to change and brew at Football Club Real Madrid. Now, Thibaut Courtois said, Xabi asked us a lot to press. And if they catch us on the counter, the whole team must drop back quickly. That's what we have done today. And then it's the way ahead. That's exactly what he said. He said, Charlie, for him, it's about pressing. It's about counter pressing, winning the ball back and getting into shape. Even if you can't counter press perfectly, get back into your shape. Kylian Mbappe on Instagram is a big 7, big number 7. So Vinicius Junior. The quality of Vinny Junior when he came off the bench was clear. Charlie, you can talk about Rodrigo Goes and what he does to teams when he starts the games and out of possession shield that we talk about, the ability to work hard for the team. But Vinny Junior is a level raiser. He's a game changer. And once he came off the bench, it wasn't just the assist, it wasn't just the goal, but in that assist to Kylian Mbappe, literally the ball was won by Vinny Jr. He pressed in the right direction, won the ball in the right direction, and then played forward. And in playing forward, was able to find a certain Kylian Mbappe to make it 2-0 in that regard. You need to give him the credit. You need to give him the credit. You need to give Vinicius Jr. a lot of credit for how good he is in that regard for himself as well. Of course, I'm not surprised. Say after the game, Marca Foro have put up Kylian Mbappe on the front page of Marca, and I'm saying he is a Mudo Letal. I'm talking about a Mudo killer. I'm talking about the kind of killer that he is throughout over there. And of course, because if you have played 32 goals, have 32 goals in 34 matches in 2025, definitely you are a killer in the box. That is top stuff for you to be able to do over there. Of course, other goalie, I mean, other the assistants now, it looks as if has a mainstay El Madrid in one of them, and he is the creator in chief of Football Club Real Madrid. And after the game, Javi Alonso congratulated him. He himself went into Instagram and said, moving in rhythm, hungry for more. That is exactly what the goalie is talking about. Javi Alonso spoke. He spoke about the starting 11. He spoke about the team into it. He spoke about the quality of the work ethic. He was very, very emphatic on work ethic from his team, and the quality that he brings into teams. I'm particularly very excited also for Madrid for a work ethic and how they play in their games. So I think it's quality stuff. I think it's very, very, very quality stuff for everything that they've been able to do. We'll see how things are going to go on. Of course, this weekend, Madrid got the job done. Barca got a job done. Almost all of the teams have gotten the job done. A lot of quality play, a lot of interchanging ability, left, right, calmness on the ball, and of course the confidence to believe that this is Football Club Real Madrid and they can get a job. And there's a centre back who plays for Bayern 04 Leverkusen. Now, this centre back, I think a couple of weeks, months ago, like when the Leverkusen injury started, this centre back was part of the list that Chelsea started throwing out in terms of centre back that they may want. He's an Ecuadorian centre back, and when Chelsea started throwing around this centre back, whether they will get this centre back, the centre back is going to be part of their players now. I mean, since then, it looks as if the Chelsea plan, general plan, is to find solutions from within. So the extent that Enzo Maresca said that he is looking for solutions from within. But of course, everybody understands that you would have to find some of the solutions. If you can get them outside, you have to get them down. Of course, look at the game against West Ham United. I think that's one of the major changes that went on. One of the things that's very simple, very straightforward, but it made a lot of difference for Chelsea Football Club was the fact that You could play Tosin Adrabia, you are CCB, and get a left-sided centre back to help you in ball progression and build up. That is in a Marco Crea. It was excellent just so Malo Gusto could go invert, could not, he didn't invert, he go up and down the touchline, and then Cole Palmer was inside. I like that game plan from Enzo Maresca. It was pure balance, it was quality play, and then you could have Pedro Neto and then Marco Crea doing a lot of rotations on the left hand side. If Kukre has to go, he has to stay, the combination play in those areas. It was excellent. Now, of course, everybody understands what was. In fact, after the game, Kukre spoke about Estevao Willian. And this is exactly what Kukre says. He says he showed that he is very mature. He is very young. In theory, he started on the bench. Then in 5 minutes, he needed to get ready. He needs to continue to learn and listen to tactics and everything. He had an amazing game. He had opportunity to score at the end, but he has a lot of quality. He can improve a lot. Hopefully, he can continue in this way. That is exactly what Marco Crea is talking about, a young boy called Estevao Willian. I mean, the quality of play for Estevao Willian and how things are going to go on from there when it comes to Estevao Willian over there. Of course, in terms of transfers, and this centre back I was talking about is Pierre Henkapier. And the story that is coming from Germany is very, very interesting. Apparently, Leverkusen won a game here. They lost and they Ten Hag. And after losing in that game for buying off for Leverkusen, what we heard is that Pierre Henkapi had gone on to the stands and was sort of crying, telling the Leverkusen fans say he's not happy where he is and he wants to move on from football club Leverkusen. He wants to move from Leverkusen to go and play elsewhere, buying for Leverkusen. It's as it stands now. It has brought up the conversation of centre backs as it stands now. What is being reported is that still Chelsea have not made any concrete offer for Abrantia Freno buying Abrantia Freno. Pierre Henkapi is a very good player. A lot of clubs probably want him, but Chelsea have still not made any concrete offer for Pierre Henkapi as it stands now. We'll see how things are going to go on from there. There's a lot of updates in terms of Chelsea transfers and who's going to go where. Players near Coco, which is very, very good in that regard. The very first one this morning, and it's our Brent friend Raheem Sterling. Now, let me read this from Pierre Henkapi possibility. So, Pierre Henkapi wants to leave Bayern Leverkusen ahead of the summer window. Premier League clubs are attentive after Tottenham made an inquiry 10 days ago. He has a release clause of 54 million. 54 million. That is the release clause for Pierre Henkapi over there for themselves. We'll see how things are going to pan out from there when it comes to Henkapi possibly leaving Bayern over Leverkusen. What has been heard is that Newcastle United have put Chelsea centre forward. Newcastle have put Chelsea centre forward Nicholas Jackson as number one target, as first choice. Jackson's first choice is Newcastle, but they want Chelsea to lower their asking price as it stands now. Jackson there, he wants to go and play for Newcastle. He thinks that Newcastle is a place where he can play football, especially under Eddie Howe, especially since Aston Villa cannot match the amount of money that Chelsea wants now. But Newcastle also wants Chelsea to lower their price. I don't know why Newcastle are so bent on people lowering their prices when they have not lowered their price. You didn't lower your price for Liverpool. You didn't lower your price for anybody. I mean, you wanted Brentford to lower their price for one visa. You also want Chelsea to lower its price for Nicholas Jackson. I beg you, say Chelsea for the lower price. And your crown. If Sesco is 73 million pounds, then Jackson is 80 million pounds, and Newcastle were ready to pay that for Sesco. So what's stopping them down? They need to pay that amount of money. Jackson's first choice is Newcastle. Of course, it's something that Chelsea has to go on there. Of course, I've said several times, Jackson fits exactly how Newcastle wants to play their game. Chelsea, Newcastle United asking Chelsea to lower their value for Nicholas Jackson. Jackson's first choice is Newcastle United. Of course, you have to reduce your price also for Alexander Isak. And then we'll also talk, if you bring Alexander Isak to 70 million, we can talk about it also. And then we'll see how things are going to go on from the quality play. What we are hearing from courts outside is that Raheem Sterling is part of those players. Chelsea has almost about 8 players who are still there that they have to sell. Chilwell, Sterling, Disasi, David Datro, Fofana. There are a lot of players that Chelsea would have to sell from their club. And what is going on is that until Chelsea sells these players, they need to raise certain funds. What we've heard today from London court of side, NSF, Avanti and Raheem Sterling, Chelsea wants £20 million to sell him. Chelsea wants just £20 million to sell him. What we heard is that Fulham are interested in getting the boy called Raheem Sterling to come and do the job for them. So we'll see if Fulham will pay the money for Raheem Sterling to come in. We'll see how things are going to go. Now, a lot of the pundits that predicted against Chelsea when the season started and they're beginning to change their mind. Exactly, one of them, Benton friend Gary Neville. And after the games, the Gary Neville said it's a good away win for Chelsea. It will just get them going. Is it realistic that they can win the Premier League? I don't think so. But I think they are going to get Champions League places, and then around there, a couple of seasons on a bounce, then you certainly started to move forward. And there is a long way to go. But it was a game that you would expect them to win. And then, well, like West Ham are really struggling. That is, of course, your man that is called Gary Neville over there. It was a good news for Chelsea as Kani Chukwuemeka and then Aaron and Selmino, both of them Eko Kudru, Germany. All of them flew into Germany and then they were able to go on to go and get a job. And they went in there, got a job done for both of them. Kani Chukwuemeka, as we know, Chelsea are selling him for 20 million, 5 million add-ons, and then a possible sell-on clause for Chelsea Football Club now. Kani Chukwuemeka has not been a player who has bought games consistently. He has been in and out of form in recent times. Sometimes Kanye will be playing, certain times Kanye will not be playing, and then the injuries that came, he has really, really affected our Brighton and Kanye Chukwuemeka. But now it's a fresh start for him. He always wanted Dortmund. I mean, look at Niko Kovac when he came in as manager of the club. Did mention someone for Brighton and Kanye Chukwuemeka to be part of the players that he wants to use and play in the middle of the park as an aide who breaks down low blocks, the ball carrying ability, the ability to pick up the ball in deep areas and then of course glide through teams. Very important metric, very important. I mean, style of play from Kane Chukwuemeka. Also 6'2", 6'3". I mean, big body frame to protect the ball. It's something that's going to be important for Niko Kovac, especially if the injuries go behind a bench friend Kane Chukwuemeka. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how Kane Chukwuemeka is going to fare consistently on German Bundesliga. So Chelsea have gotten their money and Kane Chukwuemeka has gone away from the club. He's straight up in Germany going to do his medicals, and right after that, he's going to focus on other things in terms of getting the job done, growing up, and then playing consistently. Same for Benjamin Aaron and Somino. He is on loan with Tima, your friend of Dortmund, also in 2026. Like I told you the last time, Leipzig, Roma, all of these guys have been asking on Chelsea winger, Tyreek George. All of them have been asking about Tyreek George and what it brings to the team, how well Tyreek George can be in other places and stuff like that. It's an important one. We'll see if Tyreek George is going to move on from there. Inside game, when Chelsea played against West Ham United, certain records were broken. First one, João Pedro became the first Chelsea player to score in his maiden Premier League London derby with the club since Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. If you include the two prison friendlies against Bayern Leverkusen and AC Milan, João Pedro has scored an impressive 6 goals in 7 outings since joining the club, and that record continued last night. Quality across board for João Pedro. What he gives Chelsea Football Club is very, very, very interesting. And Chelsea should be very, very excited. So we have a player of the quality of João Pedro. I think that in terms of Premier League debutants, especially for teams, signing of the season, you talk about João Pedro as part of the players that have been very, very good. Chelsea this week has another huge London derby that they have to go on and see if they can go and get the results in there. Axel Disasi has agreed personal terms with AFC Bournemouth in the last few days. I told you that Chelsea are also going to get more money in the sale of a branch friend Axel Disasi on contracts running 2029 with an option for a further year. The player is keen on the move. Chelsea valued Disasi at 30 million, while Bournemouth 20 million. Negotiations are ongoing for Axel Disasi to AFC Bournemouth over there. Of course, we see if Axel Disasi will be able to move to AFC Bournemouth or it's going to fall through, it's not going to go through. We'll see how things are going to go on from there. There's an update also when it comes to Axel Disasi. I'm saying, like I told you, Fulham are very, very keen on him. There are clubs in Germany and the likes of Raheem Sterling, but then again, it doesn't look like Germany is a place where Raheem Sterling would want to go. As previously mentioned, Alex Garnacho